Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today I'm going to do something a little different and show my original Xbox collection as of the summer of 2017. I think I did one, a couple of years ago. I didn't have that many games at the time, but I have 3 original Xboxes, one that's in the process of being completely revamped with new hard drive and DVD drive, new clock capacitor, and everything. I mean, just completely revamped and modded. And then the other 2 I'm going to leave stock, but I'll have the clock capacitors replaced and the little rubber band, DVD drive door opening deals and all that. But my Xbox collection is one of my favorite. I'm the most proud of what I've collected so far for it. I have maybe 40 or 50 games left to get in this collection, and I don't get everything. Right off the bat, you'll notice I don't have any Halo games. I'm not a real big fan. I played a little bit of Halo 2. I just didn't really like it personally. But nothing against, my many friends that love those games. And you'll see some rare games in here and some highly collectible games. And again, every game I have here are games that either I've played and loved or games that I wanted to play at the time and just didn't get around to getting them, or the things that I've discovered via my friends and the different Xbox groups that I belong to, and oh dude, you should play this one. If you like this game, play these ones. And so these are games that I've taken a chance on. Some of them, many of them I've played. Some of them I've played on the PlayStation 2. But I'll point out which ones are exclusives and what have you along the way. I'll try to get on this and make it as quickly as I can. Now, I don't have them in any particular order, but I do have them kind of grouped, like racing games. I'll start off with those, and first-person shooters, and movie license games and stuff like that. So I'll try to get through this as quickly as I can. Starting off with the racing games, I got Project Gotham Racing, a wonderful series. I love this series. I have the first one. Someone gave me a Japanese version of the first one, which has a completely different cover on it, different logo and everything, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of nice to have that in my collection. Project Gotham Racing 2, another fantastic game. I have Project Gotham Racing 4 for the Xbox 360 as well. Recently I just got, this one I got probably 6-7 months ago, IHRA Motorsport Drag Racing 2004. I'm a real big into drag racing and built a bunch of drag racing cars and did it illegally out in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles years ago. We go out on Friday and Saturday nights and stay out all night doing illegal street racing and, business parks, industrial parks, stuff like that. Today, if you did that, you get your car impounded and what have you. You probably could have then, but I wasn't worried about it. People had police radios. The minute the cops or the highway patrol would come in, we'd all scatter and take off. But and then I had friends that did it professionally, and I would help them as like a pit crew member. But anyway, I got the 2004 drag racing game. And then I also have the 2005 one, which I just bought a few weeks ago. And then I have the very rare Sportsman Edition, which is a really low production numbers. This game is going for upwards of $60 to $100. I mean, it's getting up there on eBay. I got it for $40. I was lucky to get that. So I like these games. I mean, not everyone's into the drag racing thing, and I understand, but I really enjoy them. Toca Race Driver 3. Now I could go and try to get Toca, 1, 2, and 3, get all of them in the series, but some of these ones, like this one, this is my favorite of all of them. This is, in my opinion, the best one. So I'm just going to stick with just like Toca Race Driver 3. I have no need to own 2, just like I have Gran Turismo 2 for the PlayStation 1, and I don't feel the need to own the first one because the second one really has better cars and tracks and just it's more refined. So quite often I'll stick with the better one in the series, and then some games I'll get all of them in the series, depending on what it is. Forza, wow, my life changed when I started playing this. I never went back to the Gran Turismo series, not that much anyway. I never continued buying the newer ones at the time once I discovered Forza. I love Forza, and I especially love Forza 2 on the Xbox 360. Many of you know it's fantastic. Need for Speed games, I got Need for Speed Underground. And again, I'll just mention every single one of these games I'm showing is complete with the manual. All the discs are in excellent condition. And that's the way I like to collect my games. Sometimes the cases will be a little worn, there'll be a little tear in the manual. That I don't mind, as long as the disc is clean and it's relatively complete. but I love the Need for Speed series. This is a fantastic game. And I especially like 2. I had played 2. I hadn't played the first one. But I'm so happy to have these back in my collection. This is a real gem. I had a friend of mine that helped me find this one. My friend Chance, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Very hard. I had a hard time finding this one. And ironically, the PlayStation 2 version is even better than this one, which is rare. It's only a couple games. You kind of one hand how many multiplats are better on the PlayStation 2. But PlayStation 2 has a little bit better graphics in some respects. But there is some nice elements and design elements in this. And there's, I think, a GameCube version as well. This is a great game. Highly recommended for the PS2 or for the original Xbox. Many people love this wonderful Most Wanted game, Need for Speed Most Wanted. I had played the original Xbox version, and then I upgraded, and I've got the Xbox 360 port of it as well. And then I found, about a year ago, I found this Black Edition, which has more cars and I think maybe some more custom cars or something in it. But I'm happy to have this. I'd like to find a Black Edition for the 360. Then kind of along a similar vein is Midnight Club 3. Now I'm going to try to find Midnight Club 2 also, because I do like that one and played the hell out of it on the PlayStation 2. Unfortunately, the first Midnight Club is only on the PlayStation 2, and it's not on the original Xbox. But this one here is my favorite. I absolutely love this, and I certainly love the Midnight Club Los Angeles Complete Edition for the Xbox 360. But my God, the music, the tracks, the cars. It even has an early version, like a 2004 version of my Dodge Hemi Ram truck. So there's just so much to this. It's a great game, very challenging. It's got some of the worst rubber band AI you'll ever see in a game, but still very, very fun, highly recommended. Again, I don't get hung up on the Platinum Hits versions versus, the green and black versions. I mean, I like the green and black, look nice, but I'll pick up, as long as it's complete and clean, I'll pick up whatever version I can get. Juice, I just recently got, and I got Juice 2 for the 360. This looks great. I never had played this, and I've always wanted to. So I'm getting more of these import tuner type games, and Juice is a good one. LA Rush is another one which has muscle cars and tuners. This looks cool. I think you have, like, all of LA is relatively recreated in a giant open world in this. I'm dying to play this. Very excited about that. Burnout-Point Point of Impact. I had played the first 2 of them on the PlayStation 2 and really liked them, but I wanted to at least get Burnout 2. This one I like. I may not get the first one. The first one was okay, but I like the second one much better, so I'm very happy with this one. And I had to get Burnout 3 Takedown. This is a fantastic game. Many of you know it as well. I love this, and I also have, I think it's Burnout and Revenge I have for the Xbox 360, a wonderful series. Maximum Chase, I took a chance on this. I remember when it first came out. It's like a Hollywood stunt driver deal. I don't know everything that's involved with it, what it is, only on the Xbox. It looks good. It's a racing game, and pretty soon I'm going to be going through a lot of these racing games and trying to put together a montage of what I think are the best racing games for the 6th gen and the 7th gen. And so I'm trying to collect many of them. Now I'm missing ones like that Auto Modelista. There's a couple, which is getting up there. It's like, $30-40 now. It's getting expensive. So there's a few more left, maybe 5 or 6 that I want to try to get for this collection. Once I have those, I'm going to do like here's my favorite, 20 or 30 games for the original Xbox, for PlayStation 2, for the Xbox 360 and PS3, which that'll be coming soon. But in the meantime, I thought this would be a good time to show what I've got. Driver 3. I personally love this. It looks like it wasn't quite as polished and finished as it could have been. There's been a lot of troubled development behind this, but I still love this game. My little nephews would come over and they go, "Hey, Uncle Dean, where's that Driver 3 game?" They just love to raise hell and go around with the M16 and grenade launcher and blow stuff up and then lose the cops. And that's what this game is good for. The missions are kind of tough to get through and awkward, especially the little Tanner guy as he gets up and runs around, but still a great game. This is my favorite game in the series, Driver, Parallel Lines, and one of my favorite game box arts of all time. I love the shimmering box, this 1970 Challenger that it's got on the cover. They had cars that looked like real-life cars. They kind of change them a little bit. And it's really cool. It takes place in the 70s, really good 70s music. And then later, the last half of the game takes place in like the current time in the mid-2000s or whatever. What's nice about this, it's on the Wii also, and it's also on the PlayStation 2. This is by far the best version. It looks great. It has some incredible cutscenes. The cutscenes are very well produced. Great voice acting, wonderful cutscenes. The music is right up there, comparable with GTA as far as what you get for music. Really a great game, highly recommended, and really just a very underrated game. My favorite game. This blows away Driver of San Francisco on the 360 in my opinion. So those are some racing games. I've got this Test Drive Eva Destruction, which I've always wanted to play, and I finally got it for like 12 bucks. Now this game is going for big bucks on eBay. I don't know why, but it's very, very good. It's kind of a fun destruction derby, kind of like we had the old destruction derby games that were on the what was the PlayStation 1. But it looks really good. The graphics look great. Really good physics and effects in this and damage modeling. I'm very anxious to play this soon. Test Drive. A lot of people don't like this one. I had most of them for the PlayStation 1, and so when it finally came on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, I jumped on it. This one's very arcadey, and it's an amazingly tough game. It's tough as nails, and very frustrating. You can rage quit this one pretty easily, but once you know the patterns and you get the handling of the cars down, it's really fun. And it had the advent of muscle cars. Test Drive was one of the first racing series to start putting in, like, muscle cars, 69 Dodge Chargers and 69 Camaros and old, ZL1 Corvettes and stuff like that, and Mustangs, what have you. It really works well. Again, they were trying to get in the Fast and Furious deal at the time, but I love this and would highly recommend it. It just takes a while to get the learning curve up as far as the racing. Outrun 2, a fantastic game. Now, I don't have the 2006 Coast to Coast. I may get it just because it looks like a great game, but it's getting expensive. You can pay upwards of 60 to 100 bucks for it. But frankly, I think that Outrun 2 is one of the best games in the Outrun series. It runs buttery smooth, a high frame rate. The graphics look great. The music's fantastic. I also have an Xbox Live Arcade version downloaded in my hard drive for the Xbox 360, which is amazingly good as well. But this is outstanding. If you try to play this on the 360, it has some really bad audio glitches. It'll drive you nuts. Corvette. This is a very underrated game. Now, I'm a big Corvette enthusiast. I've had 3 Corvettes over the years. I'm a big Corvette fan. I can't afford, the newer ones now. Very expensive, 70,000, range and up. But this is really, really good. It shows a wide range of Corvettes, all the C1, C2, C3, C4 Corvettes and C5s. A wonderful game, good tracks. It's on the PlayStation 2 as well, and a highly underrated. This is like a bargain bin price game, but amazingly good for racing. Rally Sport Challenge. This is a great game as well. I'm still looking for the second one in the series of this, which I haven't found yet. But I love rally racing. This is one of the best of the original Xbox. This is another game that I played the shit out of. Mostly, I think I played the PS2 version initially. It's Test Drive Off-Road Wide Open. Fantastic. Huge open world environments like in Hawaii and different, Utah, different places you can go outdoors, just giant open areas and huge jumps you can get. And it's like point A to point B, get from point A to point B any way you can. And it's a really highly recommended game. It's a real gem. This is one of the first racing games I had to have for my original Xbox collection. Big Mother Truckers, I had no idea. And there's a second one as well, which I'll probably get just because I can. It looks fun. It looks cheesy as hell, but I had to get it. I'll try it out. There's another one I thought I'd take a chance on. It's this Hot Wheels Stunt Track Challenge. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it looks great. I know for the Forza Horizon 3, they've got an expansion. It looks really cool. It kind of reminds me of that. It looks really good. The graphics look great. I got a good deal on this recently. Crazy Taxi 3. I think it comes with Crazy Taxi 1 and 2 as well. I had to have this. Kind of a Vegas-themed Crazy Taxi. I loved the hell out of this back on the PS2 days, and I was so thrilled to have this in my collection. Starsky and Hutch, I've never played this. I had a friend that did some gameplay of it, and it really looked good. I said, I'll take a chance on this and try it out. I'm going to be later showing, my movie license collection of games I've got grouped. This one I kind of left with the racing games, just because it really is kind of a car-themed game. But it has the wonderful, 1974 Ford Torino that came with a 460 and a C6 automatic transmission. I always wanted one. They made 1,000 of them in real life because the show was so popular. Ford actually painted some, and they all were identical with big blocks and C6 transmissions. Simpsons Road Rage. I had to have this. I was so thrilled to find this. This is such a fun game. I think I played this back on the PS2. And there's another one called Simpsons Road Rage, I think. And I'm looking for that. It looks really expensive, but this is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Smashing Drive, I never played. My buddy Chance in my Xbox group found this for me. He knows I like Twisted Metal and car combat games, and gave this to me, and I'm really happy with it. This looks like a great racing game. Another one that kind of flew under the radar, I'm happy to try out. Roadkill. This I initially played on the PlayStation 2 and pre-ordered it and got a metal license plate that came with the PS2 version for pre-ordering it, which I still have in my game room. But I love this, and it looks and plays even better on the original Xbox. This game gets tough. It's even tougher than Twisted Metal in some respects. Really good radio stations, kind of like in GTA, we can change the stations. Great rock music, really funny talk radio. You get 3 giant cities or areas that you unlock over time, and it's an amazingly really good, highly underrated. I like it right up there, almost equal with Twisted Metal Black in its Roadkill. I love this game. It's one of my favorite Xbox games in my collection. Spy Hunter 1 and 2. I just got the second one recently. My buddy Chance sent me the first one, I believe. I think he sent me this one because he knew I wanted it. I had a hard time finding both of these locally. I finally found this one recently and got it fairly cheap. But this is a wonderful series. I had played it at a friend's house, the first one years ago. I never played the second one. And I have another one that has that rock guy in it for the PS2 recently. But these look really good. I'm anxious to try those out. Kind of in the theme of racing, but now getting into other types of racing. I got this Arctic Thunder. It looks great, kind of a snowmobile racing game. It looks really good. Anxious to play this one. I think there's another snowmobile one too. I can't remember the name of it for the Xbox. I got some dirt bike games. MTX Motorax. It looks like just a good dirt bike game. I've never played this particular one, but these ones I have played, and I love these. MX versus ATV Unleashed. A fantastic game. And especially this one, this MX Unleashed, which also has like off-road racing stadium trucks. Great dirt bike physics. I played the hell out of these games back in the day when I first got my Xbox. I played these ones quite a bit. I'm so happy to have these in my collection. I have this MX versus ATV Encore now for the PS4. It's pretty cool. Oh my God, there's a sticker I forgot to take off. Wow, it's rare. I missed one. I'll have to take this one off after this video. Bloodwave. This was a special Microsoft exclusive. I think it was made from the Microsoft game studios. It's kind of like a Twisted Metal in the water. Really good water physics. It looks fantastic. I've never played it, but I'm anxious to try this one out and play it. It looks really good. Freaky Flyers I never played, but it looks fun. It looks like a fun flying game. They have a Snoopy Peanuts flying game that looks very similar to this. But it looks great. Really fun characters. I've heard it's pretty challenging. And it's just like an arcade flight racing game, which looks fun. Crimson Skies. My God, what a great game. And I also have this off Xbox Live Arcade in my Xbox 360 hard drive. It's a great game. This had some of the best structured missions. So much fun to play. Wonderful graphics. Another kind of a special made just for Microsoft, only on the Xbox game. Highly recommended. This one will be backwards compatible on the Xbox One, I'm sure. It's a very popular original Xbox game. Secret Weapons over Normandy. My buddy Chance sent me this. This I had played before. I think I played the PS2 version, I think, and really loved this game. Really good graphics. Wonderful World War II flying game. This is my favorite flying game for the 6th gen. Is this Heroes of the Pacific. I also have Heroes over Europe for the Xbox 360, which I'd also highly recommend. But this is a great game. I can't even believe that I beat this game. This game is really tough. You get the last few levels, it's almost impossible. I don't even know if I could beat it again today. But what a wonderful game, highly recommended. This is my favorite flying game. Really good missions and relatively historically accurate. I love the planes and the menus and graphics, everything in this game. Highly recommended. Fireblade, I'd never played. Kind of an inexpensive helicopter type game, but it looks really fun. I had to have it for my collection. Jaeger, they also did Specops Align, one of my favorite German game developers. This is a really good spaceship, kind of a 3D world flying game. Really good graphics. Highly recommended. It looks really good for an early, original Xbox game. I don't know that it's on the PS2. It might be, but it's a great game. Quantum Redshift, which was only on the original Xbox, a fantastic game, and the theme of the Wipeout series made by some of the Wipeout developers. Just for the Xbox, I'm so thrilled to have this in my collection. I think my buddy Chance got me this. He has a really good game store in Arkansas, not far from where he lives. He's been able to find a lot of games that I've looked for a couple of years and can't find. So he's helped me pick out probably, I'd say between 8 and 10 really good games that I couldn't find myself. Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer. This I really like. I've had a lot of fun playing this one. I never played it back in the day, but I bought this a year or so ago, and I really enjoyed it. It really emulates surfing really well, and really good water effects and lighting, and really nice sets of waves that you can try to ride. I love surfing, and this is so much fun. Getting into, I don't have the first AMP. I do have AMP 3 for the Xbox 360, but this one is my favorite AMP game for the original Xbox. A wonderful game. I really love this one. It's one of my favorite snowboarding games. So much fun. The third one's pretty wacky and kind of fun too for the Xbox 360, but highly recommended. Ssx Tricky, I just bought this recently. I've never played this particular one, but I have played Ssx 3, and I love this. I like 3 a little bit better from what I've seen, of gameplay videos and what have you. Ssx 3, after you unlock and you do all the different mountains and races, you can eventually connect all of them together with one epic long downhill run that connects all the mountain runs together. That's why I like this third one. It's fantastic, and I also have the reboot downloaded in my Xbox 360 hard drive. But wonderful games. Many of you know it as well. Okay, now I'm going to get into. Oh, I gotta reach over here and get these. These are a few movie licensed James Bond games. I don't know if they're in the right order or not as to when they came up, but I got Agent Under Fire. These look great. I've watched a lot of good reviews of these. I've played some of these James Bond games, but not many. But this one I haven't played. It looks great. I'm dying to play this. Everything or Nothing 007. A lot of people really like this one. I really like this. This one I think plays like 007 from Russia with Love, I believe. Nightfire, I think, is a continuation of the Agent Under Fire, kind of in the same first-person shooter mode. Looks really good. This is my favorite of all of them, and one of my favorite original Xbox games, and that's from Russia with Love 007. It has Sean Connery, the likeness of Connery, his voice. He swore he'd never do another James Bond movie again, but he came back to do this, and to use his likeness. The multiplayer in this is incredible. It's so fun, especially the jetpack levels. It kind of took all the early Connery movies and wrapped them all up in one story. It's a little convoluted, but it works well. I love the graphics. I love the authentic music, the Bond villains and females, everything in this game. This is a real gem and highly recommended. GoldenEye Rogue Agent. I had never played this. This is where you play as like the enemy. Like a rogue agent, and it looks good. It's a first-person shooter. It's gotten some poor, mixed reviews, but I had to have it. So now I have all 5 of the, of these 007 games, which I'm really happy to have. I'm trying to move some of this stuff around so we have more room to put all these games. There we go. Now I've got all 12 of the Star Wars games, and I peep right off the bat, you forgot the Lego one. I'm not really into the Lego thing. I didn't play with them as a kid, and I don't understand the simplicity of what the attraction is with the Legos, but I know a lot of my friends like them. But they are all 12 of the Star Wars games. Not in any particular order. Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. It looks really good. I watched Mark Bussler, Classic Gamer, did a review of it, and to me it looks really good. I'm anxious to try this. I do like the prequels. The Clone Wars, and I think this comes with Tetris also. This one looks really good. More of like a spaceship, battles with the big the tanks and everything from the Clone War movie. It looks good. I'm anxious to try this. I've had so many people have raved about Republic Commando. I'm dying to play this. This one I'm really excited about. Again, platinum hits, I don't really care, but it looks fantastic. I've seen nothing but glowing reviews of this on the PC and on the original Xbox. Jedi Academy, actually this one's first. This is a sequel to this. Jedi Outcast. I'm about 60-something% of the way through this. I'm anxious to hook this back up to my TV and continue this. This is my favorite Star Wars game so far. Everyone says, oh no, Coder's better or Republic Commando's better, but to me, the assets, how they get the Imperial environments, the level design is exceptional in this. I was completely blown away. This is my favorite Star Wars series. I recently downloaded the very first Jedi Knight game. I can't remember, the Dark Forces, I think it's called, off the PlayStation 3, which is an old PS1 game. I'm going to be looking for that one as well. And then I think the Jedi Knight 2 is only on the PC, which eventually I'd like to download my PC. But this is such a fantastic game, and Jedi Knight Jedi Academy was a good follow-up with even more RPG elements. You can play as good or bad Jedi. A little bit more colorful and vibrant, but just didn't quite have the intricate level design of this one. But I'm so happy to have both of these games in my collection. Of course, everyone loves the Battlefront games. I got Battlefront 1 and 2. It took me a while to find these locally complete. I'd always find them, but without the manual. So finally, I was lucky enough to find both of them and jumped on them. I think I even bought the second one off eBay because I got tired of trying to find it complete. These I have played probably more than any other original Xbox game. Just last summer I had played both of these, and I love the Besman maps. All my favorite maps I play over and over in the spaceship battles. I'm looking forward to the new one that's coming out for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One soon, and I'm hoping it's going to be near as good as these. Again, I don't do the online multiplayer, but I like that you can go against bots, and eventually they made the first Battlefront on the new consoles to where you can play it in skirmish modes against the bots, and to me that's what I like. Like when I because my streaming goes out all the time, my internet, and I like to play them when I want. These are must-own, absolute must-own original Xbox games. Star Wars Obi-Wan, it got a lot of bad reviews, but I personally like what I see. I even found the original strategy guide for this recently, and I'm really happy to have it. I like the environments. I really like the Coruscant, and some of the planets and the environments look really good in this. It looks a little stale, the environments overall, kind of plain looking, but it really tried, and it looks like it's got some really good lightsaber battling, so I'm anxious to try that. I have Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. I've seen a lot of gameplay footage and old reviews of this. Everyone says, oh Dean, my God, stop what you're doing right now and you got to play KOTOR, and I'm anxious to, and I'd like to play these soon. And I had to have the second one as well, so I'm very excited about these. These are gems that I'm really looking forward to, and I know I'll love these. Jedi Starfighter I've got, and I have the Star Wars Starfighter Special Edition, which I think was only on the original Xbox, or the Special Edition, I'm not sure, I think it was. This I also have downloaded on my PlayStation 4 as well. A fantastic game. This is also on the PS2. Wonderful games. I'm actually a ways into this on the PS4. I'm really enjoying those. So those are all my Star Wars, all 12 of the official licensed Star Wars games that they have available. Now I'm going to get into some of these. Let me take a break and get these closer. Next up, I have, everyone knows, is one of my top 10 favorite video games of all time, and that's Wolfenstein Return to Castle. I recently played this entire version. I'd never played the original Xbox version. I actually prefer the PS2 version, Operation Resurrection. It's more of a single-player game with even more levels. It has a few more things that aren't in this version, and it has RPG elements that you get from finding the hidden gold that's throughout the game, which you can use and decide how you want to level up some of your weapons and defensive abilities. And I'm going to be doing a pretty in-depth review of this. I have all the footage of this one and the PlayStation 2 one to do a really in-depth, probably a good half-hour review of it. A fantastic shooter. This game sold me on FPS games this day. I love this game to death. One of my favorite in the series. And I'm so happy that Machine Games has, especially with the old blood, had taken some of those, elements from this and infused it into the new one. I think it's really cool. I have both of these Brothers in Arms games. I also have Hell's Highway on the Xbox 360. These I had played, I think, on the PlayStation 2 initially. Both of these are excellent squad-based tactical shooters. So damn good. Really well done and a pretty good story. I had a lot of fun with these. I had to have the better, versions on the original Xbox. I'm real happy to have these. I have a couple Call of Duty games, not much. I have the Finest Hour, and then I have the Big Red one. I had painted my old next-door neighbor's house the day this came out, and he went out and he knew I wanted it and bought this for me on launch when it first came out. And I absolutely loved this on my original Xbox. It was one of the first games I had played right after I played the Warriors. I had played this. My neighbor Ray bought this for me. I painted his kitchen and den for free. They were new neighbors and didn't have much money. Had a little baby on the way, and so I wanted to help him out. I didn't do it for the game, but I was really happy to have this. This is kind of what sold me on the Call of Duty series. Believe it or not, I started with this one. Finest Hour I've never played, but it looks good. I had to have both of them in the series. I'm a big Call of Duty fan, single player wise anyway, and the local multiplayer I do like on the couch. Sniper Elite, I have every game in the series. I love this series. This game is tough. This I had played about a year and a half ago or so. You'll get your ass handed to you in this one. Really, really tough game and really good. This game is getting a little bit harder to find and getting up there in price, but I'd highly recommend this. I love this game. You can really see that the series got off to a good start with this one. I have a couple of these Call of World War II combat games. There's one that's called Iwo Jima, which I don't have. That one I'm looking for next, but I do have this Road to Berlin. Some of these, some people think have pretty stale graphics that aren't the greatest, but they're good, solid FPS games, and I have this Combat Task Force. This is a modern day version of the same series, and so I'm happy to have these. I just need the Iwo Jima, and I think I'll have all three of them in the series. Commando Strike Force. This looks really good. I think it's a first-person shooter. It looks like it has really good graphics, very atmospheric. I've never played it. There's very little on it on YouTube, but it looks really good. I had to have it. I'm a big World War II fan. I have some of these Medal of Honor games, starting off with the Medal of Honor Frontline, which I love. I even have the special remastered version downloaded off the PS3 because I got, I think it was Medal of Honor Airborne or one of the new, or maybe the 2010 Medal of Honor for the PS3, and with that you get a free download of the remastered one for the PlayStation 3, which I also have. This is a wonderful game. This is one of the first, I had played this before Call of Duty. This is one of the first World War II games I played on my original Xbox. I even had the original strategy guide for this at one time. I think I bought it back recently on eBay, but a wonderful game. It's so damn good. I never played it on the PC, but a really good game. I'm anxious to get back to this one, actually. And I've never played this Medal of Honor Rising Sun, which is pretty much more the same. This was, over in Europe, and this is the Pacific campaign from starts off in Pearl Harbor, what happened, in December 7th. But I'm really anxious to play this. The follow-up to it looks really good and challenging. This I have played, Medal of Honor European Assault. When this first came out, I bought this because I love the Frontline one so much. And I enjoyed it. It looks a little bit more video gamey with all these big glowing icons floating everywhere. But a fun game, still good, fairly linear, but a lot of fun. I have a few Vietnam games. I think I have all the Vietnam games for the original Xbox. Men of Valor. This one I had played too. I started playing this. It's really good, and it's tough too. It's challenging. I really like this Medal of Honor game, and I highly recommend this. If you want a really good Vietnam FPS game, this is your game right here. This I love. This is tougher than a cheapsteak. Shell Shock Nom 67. I have the Shell Shock Blood Trails, which is completely removed. Nothing like this for the PS3. But this is a really good game. I even have the strategy guide for this. I love this. It shows the grittiness of no one really comes out a winner in war, and it shows that in spades in this game. Great music. Kind of an open world camp that you go back to, and you can collect these little nudie, playing cards and what have you. It's got some collectibles hidden in it. Really tough. I could never beat the game. I wanted to beat it so bad. I rage quit this and never went back to it. About halfway through it, I got stuck in one huge open valley, and I just couldn't get across the valley without getting killed. It was like almost impossible. Really good game. Highly recommended. I really like this game a lot. Guerrilla Games. It's a little Guerrilla logo that does all the Killzone games. This is one of their very first games, and it's really good. This I have played on the PS2, Conflict Vietnam. A lot like Shell Shock 2 Noms, with the way the mission structure and everything is. Really good third-person shooter. Really good graphics, and a good story. I like this one. There's a whole bunch of these conflict games, but this is my favorite of all of them. This one I've always wanted to play, Vietcong Purple Haze. Another FPS game in the Nam, kind of like the Men of Valor. It looks really good. I'm dying to play this. I can't wait to play this game. This looks fantastic. So I love Vietnam. It's a war that's not really talked about too much. No one really was a clear winner there in that war, but it's an interesting. I have many friends that were Vietnam vets, so because of that, it's a history, kind of a historic thing that I want to return to via games, and so I'm anxious to play all of those games in that series. Now getting back into these are all shooters in general. They're all mixed in together. I got first-person shooters and third-person. Freedom Fighters, one of my absolute favorite games on the original Xbox. A fantastic tactical shooter. I can't recommend it enough. Kind of a sci-fi Red Dawn theme to it. A wonderful game. Absolutely fantastic. I'm dying to replay this again. I even have the strategy guide for this. Mercenaries, I got Mercenaries 1 and 2 in the 360 recently. This I had played before. I love this. I can't wait to return to it. Pandemic Studios. One of my favorite studios. They did a great job. You can blow the shit out of everything in this game. It's so cool. Narc, I'd never played. It looks good. I thought I'd give it a try. I like cop games and kind of violent shooters. I thought I'd give this one a try. I have no idea if it's any good or not, but it looks like it's something that I'd enjoy. Kill Switch. This was kind of the game that started the whole Gears of War series. It's one of the very first cover-based third-person shooters made. And so I'm really happy to have this. It was in a black box. I don't know if it's in a wrong box or what, but I'm just happy to have it in my collection. Black, another fantastic must-have game. I have this downloaded off Xbox Live Arcade, my Xbox 360. A fantastic game. I played it on the PlayStation 2 initially, but frankly, when I rebought it and started playing it again years ago when I got my first Xbox, and it looks and plays so damn good on the original Xbox. It's almost like the PC version. Really good graphics, explosions, and just no blood. And an unskippable, huge, epic beginning cutscene you can't skip. Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix. This is a strange game, very violent. You could actually have this weird physics where you can dismember people by blowing their legs and arms and heads off, and blood spurts everywhere. It's good. I think is it made by Raven Software? I'm not sure. It is, yeah, Raven Software, one of my favorite developers. It's a wonderful game. I really like this. Some people don't like it. I had played through this, about halfway through it so far. I started playing it on my original Xbox and really was enjoying it. I'm anxious to return to this. I'd highly recommend this. This is one of my favorite shooters. It's just so violent, just over the top of the violence. Chicago Enforcer looks like a fun game. It's kind of a cheap, looks like a budget kind of game. The graphics are pretty, nothing fancy, but I just like the period of it and the old Thompson machine guns and all that stuff. It looks like a fun, kind of an older, back in the 30s or 40s, wherever it takes place. You're playing it as an enforcer. It looks like a fun shooter. Thought I'd give it a try. Mafia. This is one of the last original Xbox games. I think this is the last Xbox game that I've bought. I'm so happy to have this back in my collection. I had played this on my very first Xbox, God, so many years ago, and was just incredibly immersed in this. And this is what sold me on the series. I'm so happy to have this back in my collection. I'm going to try to find the original strategy guide for this as well because it was so good. The strategy guide had a big map, I think, came with it. But I love this game so much. It's so good. The PC version is far superior in so many ways. With blood, it has a lot more things that they could do with the PC version that they were struggling with the Xbox and PlayStation 2 version. It's still a great game. Well worth playing on the Xbox. This I had on the PlayStation 2. I had to buy it again, the Xbox, and that's SWAT Global Strike Team. It's just fun, over the top, violent, tactical cop shooter. Had to have it. Hitman. Eventually, I want to get all the other Hitman games in the series. This is Bloodlines. No, I'm sorry. It's Hitman Blood Money. I want the other two in the series, which I had played. I had played all three of these. God, back on my Xbox back in the day, and it's such a good series. I especially like the one that came out, Hitman, I can't even remember the name of it, on the Xbox 360 in 2012. Absolution, I think it was. Is a wonderful game as well, but I love these Hitman games. I'm just so happy to have it back in my collection. I got this True Crime New York City. Recently I found this, and I had a friend, which I had mentioned in one of my recent pickups videos. It's a Dean here. I got a steel copy I'll give you. So he gave me the steel copy with all the additional goodies that come with it. And I had this. I've never played this one, but I had played this on my brother-in-law's on his PlayStation 2. This is an even better version on the original Xbox. I love the Streets of LA. I'm dying to get back to this and then eventually play these. Just great violence, music, everything in these games is so fantastic. Really good games. This is when gaming really was coming into its own. We're getting much more new IPs and really solid ideas for games. I'm so happy to see those. A lot of these games that came out at the time. I wish we had the new IPs today coming out to the same degree of what we had. And the 6th gen was just a magical period. That's why I love collecting for the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. In fact, I don't have near the PS2 games that I have for the Xbox, but I'm going to be doing a PS2 and PS3 collection video as well pretty soon. Rainbow Six 3, these are a bunch of Tom Clancy ones. Never played any of these. Rainbow Six Black Arrow, never played it. It looks good. I have Ghost Recon, the very first one. Ghost Recon 2. Summit Strike, Ghost Recon 2, whatever that is. And then Island Thunder. These are real popular games. Some of these were good multiplayer games, I believe, as well. But I'm anxious to get, and I want to get all the Splinter Cell Tom Clancy games as well. Those are on my list. I have maybe another 40 or 50 original Xbox games that I do want to get for my collection. Now we're getting down to the wire here. Destroy All Humans. One of my absolute favorite games. I had so much fun. This one, I bought this at launch, the day it came out for the original Xbox. What a wonderful game. I love this game so much. And I recently downloaded this one and the second one off the PlayStation Store for my PlayStation 4. And I've been slowly going through. I'm about maybe a fifth of the way into this on the PS4 now. Such a fantastic game. Next on the scene is the game 13. I've never played this, but I've seen some fantastic reviews of it. Really cool comic book style, cel-shaded deal. It looks like a really revolutionary FPS game. Very different. And I'm dying to play this. This looks like a real gem. I'm happy to have this in my collection. Painkiller Hell Wars. I had a good friend of mine recommended this to me, Dean. If you want to play a really good shooter that's challenging, you got to play this Painkiller. I think there's another version for the Xbox 360. It's a little bit more streamlined, but better graphics. It looks really good. It's been highly recommended to me. I just haven't played it yet. Kind of over the top. Of course, I never played the original game on the PC, but I've heard that this Invisible War is actually a pretty good game for the original Xbox, and I'm dying to play this. I love the box with this shimmering metallic, cover on it. 9.1, someone gave it, but It looks really good. I love this series, and I'm anxious to go back to the roots of it. Eventually, I'll get the game on the original, on the PC too, to play the first one, but I'm dying to play this. Thief Deadly Shadows. I think it was Metal Jesus or someone raved about this, and I had to try it. I had the new Thief game, which I haven't played yet. Someone gave it to me for Christmas, but this looks really good. I've heard so many people have raved about this, and this is really the superior game in the series. So I'm dying to play this Thief game, a really good stealth game. Brotherhood of Steel. I've heard it's kind of like Baldur's Gate, but it's with the Fallout universe. A lot of people either hate this game or love it. It's kind of like a little top-down, isometric, brawling, shooting type game. You can play as one of like 3 characters, I believe. It really looks good. I like it personally. This was kind of a holy grail for me. I was so thrilled to finally find this. I think I might have had to get this on eBay because I missed out. It was at my game store. I went home and researched. I went back and it was gone. So I told my wife, you know what, let's just get it on eBay because I love the Fallout games. And it's got some really fun little environments in it. It's all in the Fallout universe. Nice little opening cutscene. But it's got a lot of flack. A lot of people just didn't like it. Some of the animations are not near as good as like the Baldur's Gate. They're very plain looking, the faces, and not a lot of emotion. But it still looks like a great game. I'm really happy to have this kind of a rare gem in my collection. Red Faction 2. I bought this the day it came out. I loved the first one on the PlayStation 2. I had my Xbox when this came out. I immediately bought this and bought the strategy guide with it. I don't have the strategy guide anymore for either one of them. But my God, what a fantastic game! This game has been shit on. It's got terrible reviews. I don't know why. It's great. Now, a lot of people like it for the multiplayer. The multiplayer, you had like endless arenas that you could battle in. Really cool, very well thought out arenas. And it's a wonderful kind of a local split screen game that you can play with your buds. I think you can play it up to 4 players, I believe. But the single player campaign still has a geomod technology. You just can't use it quite as extensively as you could with the first one. But it's a very challenging shooter. In fact, Mark Bussler dismissed it initially, and then he replayed it and really liked it. Again, back then I didn't watch reviews, and there was no YouTube, so when I play a game like this, I just thought it was a great game. I was shocked to hear that everyone shit on it, but I really like this game. The first Red Faction, this game, and Return to Castle Wolfenstein are what sold me on FPS games. I'd recommend getting this game. This game is getting hard to find, and it's getting up there in price. The multiplayer is still damn good locally, too. Tarak Evolution, never played it. It looks really good, though. I like the dinosaur concept. Kind of a Jurassic Park thing, first-person shooter, survival type deal. You're surviving against all these dinosaurs or what have you, but it looked great. I was so happy to finally find this complete. I'd found it a couple times. It was missing the manual. Psyops, the Mindgate Conspiracy. I don't know. I think this one might have been, initially was going to be a Deus Ex game, and maybe they changed the name or they changed the mechanics and try to make it its own thing. I'm not sure if this was the one, but it looks really good. I had to get this and try it out. Your mind is the ultimate weapon. It looks like it has had some mixed reviews, but I kind of like what I see of it. Warpath. I have no idea if it's any good or not. It looks great. I like the kind of a Battlestar Galactica Cylon action. Attack, defend, dominate. It looks like a fun game. I showed this in my recent pickups video. I thought I'd give it a try. My buddy Chance got me Gunmetal. This looks really cool. You can play like a mech guy and it slowly turns into a jet. Kind of a Transformers, kind of a mech type game. But I love the graphics and I love the box art in this. I had to try it out. I just bought this recently. I had played the first one. I've never played the second one, Lone Wolf, Mech Assault 2. So I thought I'd try it out. It also comes with a DVD, which won't play in my Blu-ray player, but it probably will play in my original Xbox. It's got like 25 minutes of behind the scenes and how they made the game. But I like the kind of metallic box and the logo, and it comes with the two, the DVD and the game. I'm really happy with this, to have this in my collection. I'm anxious to try it. And got to find the first one as well. Call of Cthulhu. This is becoming a very hard to find game. I bought this for like $7.99 in mint condition, complete. I was so happy to have this in my collection. I found this like a year and a half or so ago, and it was all complete and everything. It was for $20, but it was missing No, I had the manual, but I didn't know what it was. I went home and researched and go, wow, this looks like a really interesting psychological game. As you get more fearful in the game, it changes the whole game. It's got very interesting mechanics. I've never seen another game like this. It's been highly recommended by so many people. Like a really authentic, genuine horror, kind of an H.P. Lovecraft, creatures and monsters, and I like it. I gotta play this. Cold Fear is my favorite horror game on the original Xbox, and this is a great game. It's got this Marilyn Manson opening music, wonderful cutscenes, really good graphics, some of the best graphics I've seen on the original Xbox. It's kind of a Resident Evil clone. I've mentioned this before in other like Hidden Gems videos and stuff. This is a great game, and I'd highly recommend this. In fact, I rebought it. I bought the strategy guide for this, which was hard to find because I had it before, and I love this game. It's really tough, very challenging, and really creepy. It really creeps you out. You're on the ship in the ocean, and the ship's like kind of rolling with the swells in the ocean, and the waves are washing over the ship, and you're trying to walk kind of sideways, trying to walk and get your balance on the ship. And it's like a maze down inside the corridors of the ship. It's kind of like a zombie outbreak with creatures and stuff, but very much like Resident Evil, but highly recommended. The Suffering 1 and 2, this is the Ties That Bind, or whatever. I've never played either of these. I've had so many people, Dean, you got to play these, the Suffering games 1 and 2. I found them all complete, and I was just happy to add these to my collection. I know I'll love these. Got to give them a shot. Next, I've got Myst 3 Exile. I've beaten this game 3 times now. Twice on the PS2 and once on the original Xbox. The Xbox version has a little bit better graphics. A wonderful game, highly recommended. This is very good. It's up there with the original Myst. Really good cut. Brad Dourif is in the game, and wonderful cutscenes, and you can interact with the environment. Fantastic ambient sounds and these different worlds that you can explore. The puzzles are moderately challenging. Some of them were very tough and it took me a while to figure out. I didn't have any help or cheating. Now, ironically, a friend of mine recently just found me the strategy guide for this, which is just nice to have it, but I don't believe in looking at guides. I don't want any help with these types of games. I like to figure them out for myself. This is a good game, as is Myst 4 Revelations. And I think Ubisoft did this one. This one has even better graphics. You can kind of look three-dimensionally in any direction, where this other one had more static type pictures. But this is a beautiful game. It has like little butterflies in the environment and really good particle effects and lighting effects and music, and just a wonderful game, just very tough. There's some very tough time sequences that are brutally challenging in this. I'm stuck. I'm like 2/3 of the way through, dying to see how it comes out. I got to finish it. These are wonderful games. I have the other ones, Myst 1 and Ribbon on the PlayStation 1, but I'd highly recommend these. My buddy, Ben Boris, in the UK, he's a huge Xbox One fan, or original Xbox fan. He sent me all of these games, Miami Vice. Once I get my modded Xbox, man, I can't wait to play this. I'm so excited. I love the cover of this. It's actually like a C5 Corvette. It made it look like the Ferrari. They put the Ferrari spoke rims on it, but of course I know that because I know cars. But a great looking game. It got pretty lackluster reviews, but I had to have this. I'm so happy. Thanks again, Ben, for this. He sent me Shamu Deep Sea Adventures. Looks fun, SeaWorld. Kind of a fun, colorful, vibrant game. And Conan, which I believe is a UK PAL exclusive along with the Miami Vice. So I'm happy to have both of these games, and once I get my modded Xbox, I'll be able to play both of these on my original Xbox. Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath. There's another Oddworld Odyssey. So I can't remember the other Oddworld. There's another Oddworld game that I want to get. I've seen it a few times. But I love the animated graphics in this. Really cool, very well done characters, and a really fun game. I'm dying to play this only on Xbox. House of the Dead 3, I just got this recently. I've got 2 CRT TVs. I just got to get a light gun. But you can play it with a controller as well. This is my favorite. I played the shit out of this on the arcade machines back in the day, and I still enjoy playing them today. We were at Reno, Nevada, or somewhere recently, and they had an arcade, and I went down and they had this House of the Dead game, and I had to put some quarters in and play it. It's still fun today. One of my favorite arcade-type shooters, light gun-type shooters you can get for the original Xbox. Mortal Kombat, Deception. I've never played. There's a couple Mortal Kombat games, and I want to get some of the other ones too. Shaolin Monks or something, I think is one of the other ones. But the graphics look really good. I had played the really crude early ones on like the PS1 and Super NES and stuff like that. But I'm dying to play this. This looks really good. I want to get the other ones in the series as well. This Pitfall game, I took a chance on. It's kind of a fun, the Lost Expedition, kind of a reboot of the series. I think it has Pitfall 1 and 2, although I don't know if they're like the old simplistic Atari versions or what, but it looks good. It looks like kind of a really fun reboot of the series and great colorful graphics, and I had to try this one. I had to have this for the collection. Now, I want to get Metal Slug 3, but I was lucky to find this 4 and 5 all together. And then I recently got off the PlayStation Network on the PS4. I bought like the anthology or the first 3 of them or something as well. So now I pretty much have at least all 5 between the PS4 and this. But I'm going to see if I can find 3 and if there's any other ones. But I love the art style and love these Metal Slug games. It looks so cool. Over-the-top shooters. I have Shock Troopers on my PlayStation 3 that I downloaded as well. And those SNK type games are so cool. I have all 3 of these Midway Arcade Treasures. I've got Arcade Treasures 1, 2, and 3. All kinds of great games. Hydro Thunder, Off-Road Thunder, Rush, The Rock. My eyes aren't so good on this. I can't read all these. But it's got a lot of good games on it. My glasses. Oh, Spy Hunter, Defender 1 and 2, Gauntlet, Joust, Paperboy. Wow. Robotron 2084. So many great games. Tons of games. These I'd really recommend. There's some other ones too. There's a Nameco Museum one or something I want to get. There's a few other arcade games that are like this, but this is all 3 of these. Highly recommended. I mean, I'm going to be with a modded Xbox and coin ops. I'll probably be able to play a lot of these and then some, but it's just so nice to have these remastered. And they play amazingly well on an old Xbox controller. I'm very happy to have these in my collection. Now we're getting into the last pile that I have. This is a holy grail. My buddy Jeremy in my Xbox group was able to hook me up with this. An original, complete, has all the maps, the posters, everything. This wonderful GTA. This was a major holy grail for me. I'm so happy to have this. Yeah, the box is slightly worn, but I don't even care. I just love this. Beautiful packaging. It has like the original play, and I have all these on the PlayStation 2 also, but comes with, you know, the original booklet, really thick, nice booklets, and it comes with a poster for each game. It's so cool. Beautiful disc with the Xbox logo. Here's Vice City. In fact, I'm going to be doing a Vice City mural in my garage, the other side of this wall right here. And I'm down to like 3 concepts. One of them is the Scarface, you know, mural with a silhouette of the palm trees and the sunset. And then I may even do a contour cutout of this whole thing and have it floating over that. But I love Vice City, again, with the maps and, you know, the posters, the whole deal. And, of course, you get the wonderful San Andreas, which I was playing the remastered version on my Xbox 360 download off Xbox Live Arcade. Same deal. Wonderful games. This is such a treat to have this in my collection. I'm so happy to have all these. Again, my good buddy Jeremy hooked me up with this. It means so much. He gave me a very good deal on it, too. I would have paid a lot of money for this. And I'm just happy to have this in my collection. They also have it for the PlayStation 2, although it's much cheaper for some reason. The original Xbox version is becoming very collectible. Kind of because these are Rockstars, I have all the Rockstar games together. Even though these are actually done by Remedy, but I have Max Payne 1 and 2. Both of these I had played on the PlayStation 2 initially. And I also have both of these downloaded off Xbox Live Arcade from my Xbox 360 and my 500 gig hard drive. These are wonderful games. I used to have the strategy guides for these 2 at one time. Fantastic. They hold up well today, and they look even better on the original Xbox. If you're a Rockstar fan, and especially Max Payne fan, you've got to get these for your collection. You won't be disappointed. Very good, and they still hold up well today. Red Dead Revolver. Even better music than Red Dead Redemption, believe it or not. More authentic spaghetti western music. But my God, it's tough. It's a strange hybrid of like a Japanese game with strange animations. Very tough. I could never beat this game. I got stuck right around the middle of the game, this huge sprawling battle with cannons. And I was just like, I was overwhelmed. I could never beat it, and I wanted to in the worst way. I even had a rare strategy guide for this. There's tons of hidden collectibles and all kinds of hidden shit in this game. This is a very good game. It's very tough. You can also download it on the PlayStation 4. Highly recommended. Manhunt. I have the entire game. I did a walkthrough of this, a playthrough, and I have it on my channel. You can see every single level, but without commentary. I thought it would be creepier, just quiet by itself. And I've mastered this game on the PlayStation 2 and this follow-up, Manhunt 2. Sadly, Manhunt 2 is not on the original Xbox, but this one is. Even better graphics. You can do more strafing, go side to side. There's better controls for this, and I've even played this on the Xbox 360 as a backward compatible game. The graphics look even better than the PlayStation 2 version. It has headset support as well, although I had my old SOCOM headset for the PS2 version. Again, you can see my walkthrough of this. This is like one of my top 10 video games of all time. It's a masterpiece by Rockstar. I'd give anything for a modern day Manhunt, but because of the controversy, especially around the second one, I don't know if we'll get one. The Warriors. I was just this morning watching not one but two of my buddy Rox176, which I mentioned his channel a couple of videos ago. He's done an entire playthrough of this game. In fact, I'll have a link for his channel down below. And you can go on there and see he's gone through all the main missions. Now he's doing like the bonus objectives and missions, the flashback missions and stuff. This is so good. I have this downloaded in my PlayStation 4, and I have the strategy guide as well as the Xbox version. And I'm dying to play this again. I may have to play this one real soon. It's between like this and Freedom Fighters. I'm still kind of torn between playing them next, either on the Xbox or on my PS4. But highly recommend. One of the finest movie licensed games ever made, next to the 007 from Russia with Love. All the authentic voices of all the characters while they were all alive. This game is not politically correct. I don't think they could make this game today. And it still holds up very well. Again, get it on the PS3 or the PlayStation 4 off the PlayStation Store. It's a fantastic game, highly recommended, and an absolute must for your original Xbox collection. Batman Begins, I've never played. It looks good, and I've heard some pretty good things about this game. It has, the modern kind of Christopher Nolan Batmobile and set-piece moments and everything. It looks really good. I'm dying to play this. Terminator Redemption. I had Dawn of Fate on the PlayStation 2. I wasn't a big fan. It was very clunky and not very user-friendly. This is, in my opinion, the best Terminator game made, although it's brutally fucking hard. This game is tough. Tougher than a cheap steak. It's the real long, so if you fuck up, you got to go all the way back to the beginning and do a whole level all the way over again, and it's maddening. Really good vehicle sections. The Terminator, as he takes more damage, gets more chewed up and kind of continues throughout the game or throughout each of the levels, gets more and more beat up looking as he gets bullet ridden. It's so good. This is highly recommended, one of the best movie licensed games. I have the Terminator Salvation for the 360, which I like, even though I get piss poor reviews. But this one takes the German chocolate cake for Terminator games. I love this, and it's much better than the Dawn of Fate. I'd like to get the Dawn of Fate for the Xbox 2 just to have it. This is one of a gem. Now, I had played this. My father-in-law beat this game on the PlayStation 2 and then gave me his PS2 copy. I could never quite beat it. It's brutally tough. It gets really hard near the end. Really tricky time sections that are maddening. But my God, it's one of the finest movie licensed games I've ever played. It's the guy, it doesn't have Harrison Ford's voice, but it sounds just like him. And it looks like him in the game. It's a wonderful, this is the best Indiana Jones game I've ever played. I love this. Highly recommended. If you look at graphical comparisons between the PS2 version, this is a radical difference. This is like a vastly superior difference. It's hard to even read the small lettering on the PS2 version. This version looks so much better. It's a tough game. I used to have the strategy guide for this years ago. I'm going to try to find it again. Highly recommend this. This would be, if I had to pick out like, 10 original Xbox games, this would be one of the first ones I'd buy right here. Scarface, The World Is Yours. I've never played this. I've always wanted to play this. I'm dying to try it out by Sierra. A really good movie licensed game. It's got a lot of swearing in it. Very gory and violent, over the top. It's got a lot of the authentic Scarface music. I'm dying to play this. I mean, I thought Vice City was good, but this is the real deal right here. And I've watched some gameplay videos, and it just looks over the top. Battlestar Galactica. I like this game personally. There's another Star Trek Encounters, which I don't know if it's on the Xbox or not. I know it's on the PlayStation 2. But this is a really good spaceship game. I really like this a lot. The graphics look good. It's well done. It's in keeping with the original 1980 Battlestar Galactica, which I really like. In fact, I met Richard Hatch, who played Apollo in the original series, at a bar in Malibu, and we actually started talking. Initially I wasn't sure who it was. He was unshaven, his hair was a mess. And I said, oh, that's Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica. We were talking, eating chips and salsa, drinking Corona beers. And I had one of the nicest conversations I've ever had with a movie actor. And then I was so caught up in watching the game with him and talking. At the end, I go, by the way, I love you in Battlestar Galactica. One of my favorite sci-fi shows. Well, thank you, I appreciate it. And he goes, I really love what you brought to the table in that. And now he's in the new ones as well, which I thought was cool. But anyway, I love this game. A fantastic game. It looks really good. Fun to play and fairly cheap to buy for the original Xbox. Reservoir Dogs. This is a strange game. It got very mixed reviews, but I'll tell you what, the graphics are some of the best looking graphics I've ever seen on the original Xbox. This came very late in the Xbox cycle. I'm not sure when it came out, but it was one of the very last, if not the last, game I bought for my original Xbox. It has a lot of the authentic music from the movie. It has Michael Madsen lends his voice for this. It has the likeness of most of the actors. Unfortunately, you didn't have the budget to get Steve Buscemi and Harvey Keitel and all the authentic voices, but all the stuff that happened in the game, in the movie, that they allude to via conversation, you play in the game. You do the jewelry heist. You go when they had a shootout at the mall. All of these scenes that were talked about and alluded to in the film, they show like a prequel to the movie. It's very, very good. And it's got some really good, intense driving sections as well, with a lot of the same types of vehicles they had in the movie. I even had the strategy guide for this at one time also. Really good game. A tough game. A good tactical game. Different ways you can play it. I'd highly recommend this. Quite good. This is a holy grail. I was so happy. Just recently, one of the last original Xbox games I got for my collection is Predator Concrete Jungle. It's gotten some terrible, shitty reviews. But I found some people that like it equally as much as those that have a disdain for it. Really good Predator vision. You play as a Predator. It has all Predator skins from Predator 1, Predator 2, Predators. Predator versus Aliens, all of those. And the the filters that the Predator can see through. Great sound effects. The music, everything about this game looks great. I am dying to play this. A lot of people don't like it, but I've seen some people that have raved and said that it's one of the finest Predator games ever made, and I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green. I just watched the movie right after George Romero passed away recently, and I'm dying to go back to this. I've played it 3 times all the way through, and my last playthrough, I didn't quite finish it, but I was playing it on the hard mode where the zombies come at you even faster and more aggressively. But this is a masterpiece. It's becoming expensive. You can pay $50 to $100 for this game very easy. I was lucky to find it 2-3 years ago for $20 complete in like brand new condition. A very, very good game. This is my favorite zombie game of all of them, believe it or not. As rudimentary as the graphics are, it does so many things right. Even though it's got a lot of bad Metacritic reviews and stuff, I really like it, and you can see many videos where I rave about this game. I bought my original Xbox just for this game, because I wouldn't play it on PC, and I was just doing consoles by that point. Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay, a fantastic game. You can buy a remastered version called Riddick Assault on Dark Athena, and it has that game, and then on the flip side it has like the Escape from Butcher Bay remastered with even better graphics. But this is you have to have this for the original Xbox. This is one of the best movie licensed games ever made, even better than the film. Really, and it has Vin Diesel's voice and likeness. Beautifully done. An excellent stealth first-person shooter type game. Brutally tough too. I love this game. You really get lost in the world that this game creates. It's fantastic. Highly recommended. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but it's a Bethesda game, but this is a great RPG. Fantastic. I had played this, God, years ago when it first came out at a friend's house. Great ship battles, sword battles, everything. Of all the pirate games that are available on the original Xbox, this I think is the best one. It's a wonderful RPG. If you want to play a really good role-playing game, you got to get this Pirates of the Caribbean. This is a real hidden gem. The Thing. This is a fantastic game. I had played this on the PlayStation 2 initially. I've never played this Xbox version, but I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Very happy. And it's pretty much story canon from what I've heard. I think John Carpenter himself had some input on this, if I'm correct. Very atmospheric, creepy. This is a very early PlayStation 2 and original Xbox game, so it's a little dated, but it still plays well, and it's creepy as hell. And to me, it's highly worth collecting if you want a good movie license game. The final game that I have is a real gem. My friend Dave Wade at Lawn Boys Post 1975 told me about this. He did a video of it. I saw it. I go, that's it. I've got to get this game. And that's The Punisher. This I've played several levels of. I haven't finished it yet, but it's so damn good. It reminds me of Manhunt with the environmental kills and all that. I love the Punisher series, and Judge Dredd are my favorite comic book series, along with Batman. I'm not really into Superman and all the Avengers, all the other comic book stuff I'm not really into, even Spider-Man, but I love the Punisher and Judge Dredd. In fact, that's a holy grail for me. I'm going to see if I can find that Judge Dredd something of death. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like that one of the last really good holy grails I want to get from my collection. But this is a fantastic. I like even the Punisher movie as well, with Thomas Jane in it. But this is so good, so violent, so over the top, and it's just a real fun game. I can't recommend it enough. So I hope you enjoyed this. That's my original Xbox collection. There's maybe, like I said, 40. I have a list of neatly written down of 40 to 50 games. Most of those I know that I want for sure. I put a little star, like an asterisk by the ones I know that I definitely want. The other ones I'm still researching. And who knows, maybe I'll discover another 10 or 20 games on top of those down the road. But I'm just going after games that I really want in my collection, that I know that I've played, that I want to revisit, or games that I always wanted or was curious about and thought I'd give a chance. That's kind of my criteria. So next I'll do a PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 and PS4 collection, and I've got a pretty massive, about an equal size, 150 plus Xbox 360 collection video. So if you made it all the way to the end of this, I wish I had a prize to give you. My videos tend to be long because I get so enthusiastic. I have so much to share about them, and I just don't, it's not enough to just hold, oh, here, I got the Punisher, I got the Thing, I mean, you can do that and blow through all these in 15 minutes, but the whole idea is I want to take the time to let you know why I appreciate and like each one of these games, and why I think they're worthy of having in a collection. So these are my picks. Now, everyone's mileage will vary, but again, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your games, and good hunting for your own collections.